You have carried a question within you for a very long time. It is not a loud question. It is a quiet hum beneath the surface of things, a subtle pressure behind your eyes. The question is this: what is wrong with me? You feel it as a fundamental brokenness, a sense that you arrived here with a flaw, a crack in your very foundation that others do not seem to have. You watch them move through the world with a strange, unexamined confidence, while you feel as though you are a collection of pieces, loosely held together, always on the verge of coming apart. You have spent years, perhaps decades, trying to fix this. You have read the books, you have adopted the habits, you have tried to sand down your rough edges, to quiet your inconvenient depths, and to present a smoother, more acceptable version of yourself to the world. And yet, the feeling remains. The apology lives in your posture. It softens your voice when you should be firm. It makes you say yes when your entire being is screaming no. It is the quiet, persistent belief that you must be repaired before you are worthy of a place at the table. This feeling has been your constant companion. It has been the ghost in your machine, the architect of your exhaustion. You have mistaken this feeling for the truth, but you look out at the world and you see something else. You see a world that is loud, a world that is certain. You listen to its conversations, and you hear a frantic exchange of opinions, a currency of complaint and gossip. They talk about people who are not in the room. They talk about events they do not understand. They trade in second-hand knowledge and perform their convictions like actors on a stage. They are all so very busy. Busy collecting distractions, busy curating their own image, busy chasing echoes of happiness they have been told they should want. They fill their lives with noise to avoid the silence where real questions are found, the questions you live with every day. This is the sleeping world, a world that runs on the fuel of external validation. It craves applause. It fears silence. It mistakes certainty for wisdom and volume for truth. Its inhabitants are playing a game with very serious rules. The rule is to never look too closely. The rule is to never ask why. The rule is to keep performing, keep climbing, keep accumulating, and to call this frantic activity a life. They build their identities on the approval of others, on titles, on possessions, and on being seen in the right places with the right people. Their connections are often transactions dressed up as friendships, alliances of convenience against a shared sense of lack. And they are deeply, deeply afraid of anyone who refuses to play along, and because you have watched this game, you have changed. Something in you has quietly withdrawn. It was not a grand decision. There was no single moment of revelation. It was a slow, organic retreat, like the tide pulling away from a shore littered with debris. You simply grew tired. You grew tired of the performance. You grew tired of conversations that felt like recitations and of friendships that required you to be smaller than you are. You began to stop explaining yourself. You realized that those who require an explanation will never truly understand, and those who understand require no explanation at all. The desperate need for recognition, for a pat on the head, for someone to say, "You are doing it right," began to wither. It was not a violent death. It was a quiet fading, like a star that becomes invisible with the rising of the sun. You found that the silence you once feared was actually a sanctuary. You discovered that your own company was not a sign of failure, but the birthplace of clarity. You no longer fight to be heard over the noise. You let the arguments go. You let them have the last word, because you have realized the prize they are fighting for is made of smoke. You let them believe they are right, because their rightness depends on a world you no longer inhabit. This is not surrender. It is a profound act of liberation. To walk away from a battle you were never meant to fight is the highest form of wisdom. Your silence is not emptiness. It is a container for what is real. You have stepped off the stage. You have left the theater. And from the quiet stillness outside, you are finally beginning to see the play for what it is. And because you are no longer playing their game, they have given you a name. They have many names for you. They call you broken. They say you are too sensitive. They whisper that you are too intense, too serious, and too much. They have taken your depth and called it a pathology. They have taken your awareness and called it a weakness. You must understand this with absolute clarity. Their diagnosis is not about you. It is a confession of their own limitations. A shallow consciousness, when confronted with depth, has only two choices: to acknowledge its own shallowness, which is terrifying, or to pathologize the depth. The sleeping world will always choose the latter. It is an act of self-preservation. Your quiet authenticity is a mirror, and they do not like the reflection they see. Your comfort with silence reveals their frantic addiction to noise. Your search for meaning exposes the hollowness of their pursuits. Your very presence is a question they are not prepared to answer. And so, they must give you a label. A label is a box. A box is a cage. If they can put you in the box of broken, they do not have to contend with the power of your wholeness. If they can dismiss you as too sensitive, they do not have to face the uncomfortable truths that your sensitivity reveals. It is the oldest trick in the book of conformity, to medicalize that which is inconvenient, to diagnose that which is profound. When a world built on illusion is confronted by a soul committed to reality, it will call that soul unwell. It has to. The alternative would be to admit that the entire world is sick and the soul is the only sane one in the room. Do not mistake their labels for an accurate assessment. It is the inevitable misunderstanding that occurs when a two-dimensional world tries to describe a three-dimensional being. It is like a man who has only ever seen flat drawings trying to describe a living sculpture. He will say it is distorted, strange, and incorrect. He has no language for its depth, its texture, its life. His description says everything about his own limited perspective and nothing about the sculpture itself. Their labels are not your truth. They are the artifacts of their own incomprehension. You are not broken. You are simply beyond their frame of reference. You are not too much. You are more than they know how to receive. So let us discard their faulty diagnoses. Let us throw out their labels, which serve only to protect their own fragile constructions of reality. And let us instead speak the truth of the matter. Let us look at what is actually happening within you. This is not a pathology. It is a profound and natural unfolding. This leads us to the three truths of a deeper existence. First, what they call your brokenness is, in truth, your originality. The world of performance prizes uniformity. It produces people like objects on an assembly line, smooth, identical, and predictable. But you are not a product of that line. You are something hand-carved, something born of spirit and substance. The so-called cracks and imperfections you see in yourself are not flaws in the manufacturing. They are the signature of the artist. They are the evidence that you have been shaped by life, that you have felt things deeply, that you have been bent and not broken. Your wounds have become windows through which a unique light can shine. To be perfect in a sleeping world is to be a perfect replica. Your supposed brokenness is the indelible mark of your authenticity. It is the guarantee that you are real. Second, what they call your sensitivity is in fact your clarity. You possess a highly tuned instrument of perception in a world that is deafeningly loud. While others are numb to the subtle frequencies of life, you are resonant with them. You feel the unspoken tensions in a room. You hear the sadness beneath a cheerful voice. You see the fear behind the bravado. This is not a curse. It is a higher form of intelligence. It is the ability to perceive the truth that exists between the lines, beneath the surface. The world calls this too sensitive because your clarity makes their denial impossible to maintain. You are a tuning fork for truth, and your vibration disrupts their comfortable discord. Do not apologize for your ability to feel. It is not a weakness. It is your most trustworthy guide. It is the compass that allows you to navigate the real map of existence, while others wander lost in a territory of their own making. Third, what you feel as inadequacy is your integrity. You feel inadequate because you are measuring yourself against the hollow certainties of the sleeping world. But their certainty is an illusion, built upon a refusal to ask the deep questions you cannot ignore. You feel you don't measure up because you refuse to accept superficial answers, plastic trophies, and meaningless praise. Your feeling of not enoughness is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of your refusal to settle for that which is not real. It is the holy dissatisfaction of the artist, the seeker, the true human being. It is the engine of all real growth. While they are satisfied with echoes, you are listening for the original sound. This ache of inadequacy is the proof of your spiritual honesty. It is the sign that you are oriented not toward the approval of the crowd, but toward the vastness of the truth. To accept these truths is to choose a different path, and you must know this path is not an easy one. It is not the crowded, well-lit highway where the sleeping world travels in comfortable caravans of shared delusion. That road is paved with distraction and certainty. It is smooth, and there are many who will travel it with you, but it leads only to more of the same. Your path is the quieter one. It is the unmarked trail that leads up the mountain. It is often steep, and the footing can be unsure. And for the most part, you must walk it alone. This is the noble cost of clarity. When you begin to see the world as it is, you can no longer pretend it is otherwise. When you honor the truth of your own being, you can no longer wear the masks that society offers you for comfort and acceptance. There will be a loneliness to this, a profound ache of being misunderstood. You will sit in rooms full of people and feel like you are from another planet. You will listen to their anxieties and their ambitions, and you will feel a vast, unbridgeable distance. You will long to share the view from your path, but you will find that most are not interested in the climb. They want descriptions of the summit, but they are unwilling to take the first step. Do not let this loneliness be mistaken for the old pain of inadequacy. The old loneliness was the agony of not belonging. This new solitude is the dignified space that surrounds a solid core of self-knowledge. It is the silence of the forest, not the silence of the tomb. In this space you will find a companionship far more real than any offered by the crowd. You will find companionship with yourself. You will learn to trust the rhythm of your own breath, the wisdom of your own body, and the unwavering voice of your own intuition. Living this way requires a quiet and steadfast courage. It is the courage to disappoint others, the courage to be seen as strange, aloof, or difficult. It is the courage to choose the resonant truth of your own inner world over the dissonant noise of their approval. This is the price of your freedom, and it is a price you are finally willing to pay. And so, here is the permission you have been waiting for, the permission you can only ever truly give yourself. You have permission to stop apologizing for your own depth. You have permission to be the one who sees things differently. You have permission to walk away from conversations that drain your spirit, from relationships that demand your smallness, and from gatherings that feel like a betrayal of your soul. You are allowed to be quiet when the world demands you speak. You are allowed to rest when the world demands you hustle. You have permission to value your own peace above their applause. You are hereby released from the obligation to make sense to anyone else. Your only obligation is to the truth that is unfolding within you. Let them call you broken. Let them call you sensitive. Let them call you too much. These are their words from their world with its rules that no longer apply to you. You are no longer a citizen of that fragile kingdom. You are the sole sovereign of your own. Your life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Stop trying to fix yourself. You are not broken. You have only just begun to be real. And that is your journey. If this path of returning to authenticity resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe and turn on notifications so we may continue this journey together in deeper understanding. Now simply be here. Let these words settle. There is nothing more to do. There is nowhere else to go. The frantic search for a cure is over because you have realized you are not sick. The endless project of self-improvement is finished because you have discovered you were never incomplete. You were only told you were. You were given a map that led you away from your own home, and you have spent a lifetime trying to find your way back. But you are here now, in the stillness of this moment. Feel the weight of your body. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your breath. This simple, quiet aliveness is the destination. It is the treasure you were seeking. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is the subtle, unshakable peace of what is. The world will continue its frantic dance, its noisy parade of ambition and fear, but it no longer needs to disturb you. You have found the still point in the turning world, and that still point is you. Be still and know the search is over. You were never broken. You are and have always been completely and utterly whole.